Arsenal have dropped more points. Two games they had last week, and they dropped points in both of them against Brentford and against Wolves. And now Man City really have a sniff about it. They've been on really good form, Manchester City, and now they've got a really good chance going into this week. Arsenal have a tough game against Spurs' newly appointed manager Igor Tudor, and then the European race is very much still on, and West Ham are going to try to push for survival. So yeah, the Premier League is really full of action all across the table.
Yes, it is, and it's because Arsenal they have allowed now Manchester City to come into it. I can still understand the game against Brentford because Brentford is a good team pushing for
Yeah.
European places, even for the Champions League places. But against Wolves, that was not really. It seems like they are under pressure. They are not able to handle uh, this sort of pressure. The Premier League.
Yeah.
First time is always difficult, and that's what is happening now. But I still think that uh, they can beat Tottenham.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
And on the top of it, Manchester City also is not really in a great form this year. So it's still up for the grabs. Let's start it with Aston Villa. Oh, nobody's talking. The third team versus Leeds.
Yeah, Aston Villa, this is the reason no one's really talking about them that much because they seem to be choking just like Arsenal whenever they've really got a chance in it. They face a Leeds team this weekend who they have beaten in the last 6 times in the Premier League and haven't lost to them in the 21st century. I expect another victory for Villa. If they do want to get the Premier League trophy, which is very unlikely at this stage, but it's not impossible, they've just got to do their job and win all their games. And I see that starting here. 3-1, Rogers.
Yeah, I also completely agree with you because Aston Villa has to win their games, and I also agree totally that Aston Villa will beat Leeds here. 2-0, Watkins to score for Aston Villa.
Chelsea against Burnley. There's a record which Chelsea may be able to break, and it's not one they'd want to. Losing to all three promoted teams in the same season. They lost to Leeds, they lost to Sunderland. Could they now lose possibly to Burnley? Yeah, Burnley are not on the greatest run of form, but then you never know. For me, I am going to back Chelsea over to win this one. They are starting to look a little bit better. Liam Rossinier has got the team going, but that the first few games are like the new manager bounce. Now we have to see what are they really made of. Can they fight for those top 4, top 5 spots? I'm going to give them a victory here, 2-0, and Cole Palmer to score.
Yeah, last week I predicted Burnley to lose against Crystal Palace, and I was saying that Burnley will not win any other game in this Premier League season. But yeah, they just that was some sort of comeback, and they beat Crystal Palace out in square 3-2. That was some game from Burnley side. They have still that bit of fight into them, which they will bring to Chelsea, but Chelsea is too smart for them. I think Chelsea will win this one easily. 4-1, Pedro to score.
Okay. Brentford against Brighton. Brighton are on a shocking run of form. They have the least number of victories of any Premier League team since December. Only one win, that was against Burnley. And they really need to turn that around. They're 14th. Going into December, they were in a position where they could fight for those European positions. But now they're dropping steadily, lower and lower on the table. Brentford, on the other hand, got a big point against Arsenal at home last week. And they currently sit on 40 points, 7th place. Champions League, it's not impossible yet, but a European position is what they'll be gunning for. This will be a draw, 2-2, Watara to score. Both teams play good football, and yeah, both will get a point.
Yeah, Brighton has to find out some victories from somewhere. As much as they play good football, that is for nothing if they don't score some points or victories. So, yeah, and Brentford is that kind of tricky opponent. It's not easy to play against Brentford because of their style of play, what they do. They can even trouble the best of the teams, as we saw against Liverpool, against Man City, against Arsenal. But yeah, this will be a good game in my view. Game between two different philosophies of football. Brighton, I will say, will nick this one. 2-1, Welbeck to score, winner for Brighton.
West Ham United against Bournemouth, 18th against Bournemouth. They were just starting to look a bit down, but now they've gone 6 games unbeaten, 37 points, level on points with 8th place Everton. They still have a chance for those European positions. West Ham United really need points right now to get that position. They're playing good football, they're getting points, but it's on the same side, so are Nottingham Forest, so are the other teams also, they're battling with them. So they just need to keep doing their job. And this will be a tough one for them, but I do feel home advantage will give them a point. Crescencio Somerville on really good form right now, helped them through in the FA Cup on extra time, and he's going to score a point for them here. 1-1.
Yeah, what I think is that these are the two teams, form teams at the moment in Premier League. Bournemouth, yeah, as you said, you never count them out. They are such a fighting team after losing those many players in summer and then again in winter season. They are some team. But West Ham on the other side now playing good football.
Yeah.
They know what they are doing after buying a couple of good forwards in January. And this will be a cracking of a game. I would go with West Ham United 2-1, Bowen to score for them.
City against Newcastle. Manchester City, we always talk about that winter run they have, and they've had it once again. One defeat in 14 games. This time there are a few more blips, a few draws in there, but still they have been a really good form. A 3-0 victory against Fulham. It never looked in doubt. Scored 3 goals in the first half, got the job done in the second half, didn't really have to do anything. That was a performance which shows you that they are definitely in this title race, and now they know they're in it on all 4 competitions, just like Arsenal. Maybe less chance than Arsenal in a few of them, but they are definitely still there and will definitely give it everything. This one's going to be a victory for them. 2-1, Omar Mamouche to score. He always finds a way to score against Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle is kind of a tricky opponent. Although their away form is really bad this season, and they are going to Etihad to play against Manchester City, who has now found confidence for the title run. It will be very difficult for Newcastle, but Manchester City, this is not the previous year's Manchester City. They have some drawbacks. Their defensive line is not that strong now, and that is what is going to happen. Newcastle, because of their fast forwards, will encash on that, and it will be a draw. 2-2 will hit a bet on the title hopes of Manchester City. Okay. That's what I'm predicting here. Yeah. 2-2. Gordon to score.
Yeah, Gordon got 4 goals in the Champions League.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Sunderland against Fulham. It's Newcastle's rivals now. It's a mid-table game here. 11th against 12th. Both teams at times were maybe in the European battle, but right now it will be tough. Both teams also look safe for the next season, so not really much left to fight for both these teams. I think this is going to be a draw all square. Sunderland's home record is now gone. They did finally lose to Liverpool, and I think they should get a point here. 1-1. Raul Jimenez to score for Fulham.
Yeah. Sunderland and Fulham, as you said very rightly, they are now not in danger of relegation, not even, still a bit of, they are fighting really for some European places maybe, but yeah, Sunderland in last few weeks they are not as strong as they were in the beginning of the season, and now it seems like they are playing at their real level. Fulham is a good team. For me, Fulham will beat Sunderland here. That will be second consecutive loss of Sunderland at their home ground. Smith Rowe to score 3-1. Fulham to win this one.
Fine. Forest against Liverpool. One of the 2 teams these are who Arne Slot has never beaten in the Premier League and have been both there for both the seasons. 3 games, 2 defeats, 1 draw. Only 1 goal scored, 6 goals conceded. Nottingham Forest, maybe Arne Slot's bogey team. It was a 3-0 defeat at Anfield earlier this season. So Liverpool would really want to beat Nottingham Forest. I personally want us to beat Nottingham Forest after all those times where they have cut points off us. And I think that we are in the position where we can do that because Nottingham Forest just lost Sean Dyche and now they've got the new manager, Vitor Pereira. Yes, they put in a really good performance in Turkey midweek, but then they used a lot of their top players. They used Morgan Gibbs-White, they used Elliot Anderson. They had to play probably their best team, one could say. And for that, and they play on Thursday. Liverpool haven't played since Saturday, well rested, got a really good team. And this one will finally beat Nottingham Forest 1-0 and Hugo Ekitike to score.
Yeah, I agree. That Nottingham Forest playing on Thursday will have some say in the later part of the games. And Liverpool in last few games are looking like more of a team. They are playing like a team. Clean sheets last 2 games. Good effort going on all over the pitch from Liverpool. As you said, I also want Liverpool to win this one, and I think they will win this one 3-1. Mohamed Salah to score. Liverpool's push for for Champions League places will be on.
Yeah, defense is also showing up now.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace against Wolves. Crystal Palace have a really poor run in form right now. 1 win in 15 games and more drop points on Thursday. against Rinsky. However, they have a really good run against Wolves at Sellers Park. 5 wins in a row now, and they'll be hoping to make it 6. Wolves got a really big point on Wednesday. It doesn't really change much in the context of their season, but still the fans were really happy as Edozie made his debut and scored in the 93rd minute to cut 2 points off league leaders Arsenal. Yeah, this one's going to be another Wolves. What they're doing right now is they can't really affect their season much, but they're affecting the others this season. And Crystal Palace just need a few more victories to get them to safety, and they will not. They will be denied one here at the hands of Rob Edwards. 1-1 and Ismail Assar to score for Palace, because I feel that Crystal Palace played a really good, strong team on Thursday, and that's going to cause some problems for them.
Yeah, that's true. And Wolves, as you said, they cannot affect their season now anymore, but then they can. And I think once you are sure of relegation, some of the players just feel
Less
liberated, not really under pressure of any sort, and that's when they play their best football. That's what is going to happen in this game. Wolves will beat Crystal Palace because of Crystal Palace is in very, very dreadful form at the moment. Both the club is also not at the right mindset or frame of mind going into these games, and then players, they are also less confident. Wolves will beat Crystal Palace. Mane, the young teenager, will score 2-1. Wolves to beat Crystal Palace.
Jorgen Strand Larsen playing his old team.
Yeah.
He's been on good form for Crystal Palace at least.
Yes, he is, but I think Wolves will win this one.
Everton against Man United, Monday Night Football. Everton on a poor run of form at Hill Dickinson, 1 win in the last 7 games in all competitions at home, and that's going to become 1 in 8, because I think Man United, despite dropping points against West Ham, are good enough to get a victory here. 2-1, Benjamin Sesko to score, and another win for Man United.
Yeah, as much as Manchester United was playing really good once Carrick was appointed, their main problem is when they have the ball. How do they attack and how do they break down the defenses? And that's what Everton is going to do, just like West Ham. They will stick there, they will try to go on the counter, and that's where Manchester United are at risk. That's what I am thinking. 1-1, Fernandes to score for Manchester United, but 2 points lost for Manchester United again here.
Okay, for that Champions League spots. Yeah, that's very important for them. North London derby, match of the week. It's Spurs against Arsenal.
This is the game where you have to see the character of Arsenal team, because right now they are at the maximum of the pressure this season, and if the next few games, if they don't play up to the potential and win these, their season can go from to 0 in my view, because it's last 2 games everybody expected Arsenal to win, but they did not. I will still go with Arsenal. Tottenham has their own problems, but the new coach, you never know the way he's trying to coach the team, but it is too early for him to make an impact, and because the set of players Tottenham have, they are not really good.
Too many injuries.
Yeah, so I don't know what Tottenham is up to, but for me, Arsenal will easily win this one. 3-1, Saka to score, and Arsenal will go ahead.
Okay, that's a goal. I also back Arsenal to win this game, but the problem I will see is that the new manager, Igor Tudors, we're not sure what he's going to try. That's mystery. So for that reason, it'll take Arsenal a long time to break it down. They will face some problems, but they will, in the end, get 3 points. There will still be a lot of pressure on them, but this one will help ease a little bit of a win against their rivals. 1-0 and Victor Gyökeres to score.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it for this weekend. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again. Please like and subscribe. See you in the next video.